There is no closure. There will never be closure when you've lost a child as parents. Never. That I can now confirm. But having said that, what I like about the KK government today is their closeness to admitting they actually led to the cause of the deaths of these children. Will compensation bring a child back? No. Will it give parents some material comfort? Yes. But you know, I've heard the argument is that compensating me or building a house like they did for Albert or Joang's parents is actually a slap on the face of the parents. Leaders lead, they don't lament. He should be pulling out because he seems to have evidence, get the ones who are corrupt right there, take them through the systems, which have also been tampered with, and have them prosecuted. Not to stand there and tell us how Parliament is corrupt. In any case, ni nani ameharibu Parliament? Now, when you love, then hate, they move in same equal measure in the opposite directions. When you love, I repeat, to a degree of 100%, when it's time to hate, it will be hatred 100%.
A complete paradigm shift.
Inaendaga hivyo, za pendulum. Right? That's nature. That's nature. Now they loved, woke up early, believed, trusted.
How did they say
mwisho
to
ya
Kikuyu?
mwisho?
We shall wake up and vote in the morning.
Togo kera. Togo
Toka hure Ruto.
Toga dhure Ruto. That was the song. They did. They kept their word. They woke up in their numbers. I mean, I was at the ground. Isi ya kusoma. Now the song has changed. Togo kera, togo kera tena, togo kera, toka ikata Ruto. Kwa, you know, koingata now is to chase him away.
That's the song. Morning.
Tene, ale morning.
Tired of the same old shopping experience? Step into a smarter way to shop with Whiteson Group, Kenya's go-to online store for quality you can trust. From gadgets and homeware to everyday essentials, we deliver convenience right to your door. Fast shopping, secure payments, and top-notch customer care, all in one place. Visit whitesongroup.com today. Whiteson Group, simple, reliable, delivered.
And you're just in time for Richard Mwenja exclusive. What a privilege to have you on board once again. Of course, unpacking conversations that are shaping Kenya's political and governance landscape. And today, it is the honor of our life to host one of the renowned thought leaders in this country. Her record in public service actually speaks for itself. She is a face you know too well, having served this country at one point as public service CS, went ahead to be health CS, culminated it as water, sanitation and irrigation CS. The first of her name, woman of many firsts, Cecily Kariuki. Waziri, great to see you.
Thank you very much for having me, Richard. Such a joy.
You're still in town?
I am in town, one week in town, 1 week in the village. Yeah.
You're still the daughter of Mashinani?
I love being in Mashinani. Life is so real. Life is so true. Life is calm. And that's where you find people who really care and love you.
People have been curious. Between 2022 when you exited cabinet and of course shelved your gubernatorial bid, and now, where has Cecily Kariuki been? I understand you've been quite busy with your foundation, Noni Kariuki Foundation, also your consulting firm, Imagine, Impact, consulting group. But then again, how has the run been so far, especially with these two bids that you've been really pursuing?
It's been, let me say, it's been fun. It's been fun. When you are in charge of your own diary, you do what you do as a passion. And if you will, do things that you postponed for many years. And that's why I'm saying I'm in Mashinani, you know, with ladies and people that I never got to meet for many years, given the kind of jobs that we held then. Richard, you'll appreciate how we really worked. Huh?
But I'm curious to understand. We have had people grappling with this transition from the executive to now just being probably a local mwananchi, I should say so. No cheskas. I mean, this constant affirmation that comes when you're in offices of power, it's no longer there. Have you been playing catch-22 situation to this end?
Not necessarily. I mean, love it. I keep saying when you get into those offices, you need to be able to separate power and your head. Don't let power get into your head, because one day you're going to come back home. You're going to come back to community, you know, and therefore you can't afford to think just because you're in an office of authority that is where your life will be all the time. It's always useful to keep tabs, you know, with ordinary people. I mean, you should see me enjoying my shopping experience at malls, and I'm alone. Or
really?
I was just enjoying taking an easy ride. I don't take a very long one because I really don't enjoy driving. But to the nearby spaces, it's not unusual to find me alone. No security, no driver, and I love it.
The woman who dared the cartels is not walking around watching over her shoulders.
God is watching. God is watching. I mean, every decision that I took was informed of a lot of objectivity, but love for country. And the cartels know, you know, half the time they know if you don't play ball, you're confident because you're doing the right thing for Wanjiku, for Onyango, you know, for Salim, for Samia. And therefore, again, half the time, really, if the cartels were to take us out, they would have taken us out when we were sitting in those offices, because that is when we were making the decisions. By God's grace, now you're out here. I don't even understand what they would want out of somebody like me. I'm an ordinary Kenyan now. Yeah.
Noni Kariuki, your daughter, late daughter, God rest her soul in peace.
Amen.
If she were here today, she would pass for a Gen Z. If we go back and reflect on her spirit, women empowerment, education, living for others, those were her ideals, and perhaps what informed Noni Kariuki Foundation. You're a leader, looking at all of this, juggling family, loss of a child, and also now navigating path towards the future in politics. Just how do you summon all this strength in the face of such adversities, even the loss of your own child?
So, very interesting. Last month is when we honor the soul of Noni Kariuki. May she continue resting in peace. The reason the foundation was founded was actually to honor this great young girl. Passed away before she had, you know, she had gone beyond her 21st, if you will, birthday. And so last week, as we were celebrating Noni as a family, I remember one of the siblings saying, if Noni was here, Noni would be there, because that is who Noni was.
Front row
Would
seat.
not be able to stop her. She had a lot of energy, love, passion for doing what was right or what is right. And therefore, then the other one wakes up and says, oh yeah, maybe she's actually would be married by now. And so every time we sit as a family and remember the energy, the love, the care that this young girl brought to the world, we do it by framing who she is. And therefore, the foundation was founded again by the family so that her memories are fresh every year. And we always sit and say, what would she have done if she was here? She was very passionate about supporting girls in very vulnerable situations. It was for Noni to be in Kibra and Madare with young girls at her age, you know, talking to them, you know, encouraging them. It would be Noni to come and get whatever pocket change to take sanitary towels and hygiene packs to these girls. It is Noni. And so by the time she passed away, she had this dream of formalizing her movement so that she could support these girls. And she was bold, daring, and therefore the foundation comes in to be able to do a bit of what we imagine should be doing now. We are big on menstrual hygiene, you know, the hygiene packs for girls in vulnerable situations. We are big on health promotion, you know, just speaking about health-related issues, and that also I drew the energy from my small stint as a health minister, and therefore. So we do that. We acts of kindness, we do a bit of that. We do a bit of water tanks distribution, again, to the very vulnerable and exposed people. When people are having a good time as families and celebrating during Christmas time or Easter time, we also take time to go to those who are in need to support them with meals or, with food as the Lord blesses us.
Their second name notwithstanding, you help all.
Oh, we do, because then you don't know how to. You can't help all because then you have to profile really who is really in need. And so we use the local systems and structures to be able to support, the ones really who are in need. We've taken children to school.
Fantastic.
Again, in honor of Noni. They've done very well. Ever since we started the foundation, a handful of them are through Form 4, done well. One through university, we picked through university, and a few others on very ad hoc basis, again, depending on the need and depending on our station in terms of financial capability at a point in time. Yes.
You have faced the hard reality of losing a child. And if you look at the lay of the land today, parents have lost their children to the Gen Z uprising. What we've heard from the government so far is a framework for compensation to families who lost their children or even spouses or family members to the protest. Now, as a mother and also as a leader who has now felt the brunt of losing a child, how do you then render this new development from the government that if it's closure you want, then we're going to compensate you? Is that closure enough?
There's no closure. There will never be closure when you've lost a child as parents. Never. That I can now confirm. But having said that, what I like about the KK government today is their closeness to admitting they actually led to the cause of the deaths of these children. Will compensation bring a child back? No. Will it give parents some material comfort? Yes. But I've heard the argument is that compensating me or building a house like they did for Albert or Joang's parents is actually a slap on the face of the parents. Because what the parents want is, first and foremost, justice. Why did it happen? Who did it? And what action are you taking against the person who did it? And then now you can move on to the more material thing, because you can never equate a human life to anything material. But I love it. I like it. President Ruto, heko sana.
Heko sana.
Go on. But please tell us who killed these children. Until that happens, you and your government will remain in a spot where Kenyans, until accountability is seen and justice is seen to be served, Kenyans will remain holding your government as the worst when it comes actually to matters of political intolerance, because these children were taken out because of the government's political intolerance. Children, young people, Gen Z, the millennials, they really were expressing themselves to say, we demand accountability, proper governance. We didn't elect a deaf government, so you listen. And if you will, the genesis of how we got here. I remember speaking in one of the national media stations. 2 days before the first Gen Z protest. And I said to President Ruto, these young people are just asking to be listened to. Lend your ears to them. And I addressed him.
Don't dismiss them.
From Nyandarua. Don't dismiss them. You will recall, Richard, I was privileged. My first cabinet appointment was, I was also responsible for Matters Youth.
True.
And therefore, just knowing how close we interacted with the young people and what it is they are looking for, first and foremost, is to be listened to. That our opinion matter. Even when you don't agree, our opinions matter. So this is what the young people are asking for. They don't enjoy being called children because, some of them are a little bit towards your age.
True.
And so the fact that they were not listened to, they then had to get a way of expressing themselves. And it's not unusual, even in the family setup. When you don't listen to them, then they find avenues of venting and expressing themselves. So President Ruto missed a great opportunity here. And obviously, joto ikawa iko kali sana. It was too hot for him, so he was not able to sustain. And really forever very, very, very sorry for the families who lost their loved ones, you know, expressing themselves and saying what is right for Kenya. You are not loud enough, so we must be the generation that actually, you know, says it loudly. And if you look at the history of countries which have been forced to listen and to act the way the citizens want, the main drivers have been the young people. And that is why, personally, I really urge them to go on. I can see they are trying to buy them. There are a bit too many. There are too many. I don't think the government has the capacity to buy all the young people. But
sort of to advance listening room to this Gen Z, we have seen proposals such as the Intergenerational National Conclave, which was proposed by Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And even the president himself, if we are to circle back, we saw him hold these town hall meetings to listen to the pleas of the Gen Z. If you are now to assess the steps he's made this far towards listening to them, have they by and large remained to be hypocritical and the talk has not really been walked?
A lot of public relations, a lot of PR going on around here. And I say these without any fear of contradiction, because even though the young people were killed, even though cabinet was dissolved and reconstituted, even though the finance bill of 2024-25 was supposedly amended, relooked and amended, everything came back through the back door immediately. And I'll tell you how this goes.
Tell us.
The budget, the finance bill then, and the budget that followed, the amounts which were in contention then have ended up actually being brought back through what we call the PFM Act, Article 223. You know, you spend, then Parliament will come back to approve. That we are never told because it's never brought on the table, right? This is how people operate when they think they are very smart. Number two, you know what happened with the cabinet? Now, a cabinet that was so arrogant, dissolved, brought in a few faces. Did they continue being less arrogant? Did they? My answer is they didn't continue. They didn't stop, rather. They continued being arrogant.
But have you seen their expertise to this end?
More arrogant, actually, because when my friend, C.S. Murkomen, says shoot to kill if you're approaching a police station.
Incapacitate.
No, he was a better formulation than the president said, shoot the leg. Right?
Sure.
Then waenda wakiendaga police station wapitia hospitali. Now Murkomen says shoot to kill. Right? A few members of parliament, shoot to kill. Really, I don't think you need to look for more evidence. They say they were going to reduce the advisors, right?
True.
You can bet that there are more. There are a few more now, just that they are not in the open. So it didn't matter that they listened or they pretended to be listening. Everything went back exactly where it was. And in this particular year, it got worse. The budget went higher. 4.2 trillion budget went higher. Previously, it was less than 4 billion. And what we've seen also is confusion in terms of how the money that is gotten from taxation is being utilized. That is why every week we have to dance around an empowerment event in one corner or the other. I always invite them to come to my county of Nyandarua. I think Nyandarua is one of the most underdeveloped counties. We can do with those empowerments every week. I have invited them. Bring the money. We are waiting. You know, but unfortunately, we are waiting. It's not changing our stand in terms of how we view the government today and what we want to do with the government in 2027. It doesn't matter. In fact, when every time I'm at that level, the young people are telling me, invite them, let them come. Watulete. We are waiting. It's our money after all.
All right.
Isn't it?
You're running your consulting firm, and it's premised on the desire to equip better leaders for this country in their leadership and management journey.
Yes.
Now, you've served under several administrations. And one thing that is credited to President Uhuru Kenyatta and even Mwai Kibaki is the requisite capacity to listen. You're talking about the president having too many advisors, but probably he's not listening to the advice. They say advice is as good as the recipient. So you as a leadership coach, even in the first place, how then can he navigate forth in the sense of tapping into this advice and not really running a one-man show? And what dangers does he actually risk running into if he doesn't change the trend?
You know, you must want to change. And it has to be inside of you. It will take effort, because if you're a one-man show, know it all, in a hurry to execute what you believe to be the right thing, regardless of any other opinion, it will take a lot of effort and energy. But it can be done. Really, it can be done. In terms of listening, in communication, in leadership communication, we say the less you talk, the more you are good at listening. And the more you talk, the less you are at listening. You know, it's the opposite. So if the president could learn to listen and not listen for the sake of listening, listening for the sake of understanding. Where are these people coming from? What is it they are seeing I'm not seeing? What would they rather have me do, as opposed to you lording over everyone and telling them what you think suits you? Now, that will require a bit of effort. With 2 years to go, I am not very sure whether this will work or whether there is even any intention of the current executive under President Ruto. I'm not convinced that they are willing to change, really.
But what happens when probably a president talks about him harboring, actually having the courage of Jomo Kenyatta, the wisdom of Moi, the education of Kibaki, and also the big vision of Uhuru Kenyatta? Doesn't this show that probably we are having a leader who understands his assignment, who trusts in his own strength and capabilities? It is us who are probably not patient with him. He knows his assignment.
Richard, you know, in leadership, for senior officials,
sure,
whether it's the private or the public sector, you're put on probation.
Sure.
Normally, the probation is anywhere between 3 months to 6 months at most. Because if within 6 months, you have not turned the direction to confirm that you're moving in a certain direction, which is a positive and progressive. Bure kabisa.
That's your best description?
Oh, I mean, this is based on research. You know, not one that I have conducted, but it's based on research. The probation period is on account of, you've had people talk about within my first 100 days, you will begin to see the direction that I'm taking and the steps that, you know.
Nikiweka Biblia chini.
I didn't create that. So if within those 100 days, and I'm trying to be very, very generous, that's why I'm giving you half year. Because, you know, some environments can be very toxic, can be very complicated. You're constituting teams to help you lead and deliver.
Or maybe you inherited dilapidated coffers, empty coffers.
Yes, that's exactly why you're there. So you can fix and fill in the coffers, if that is the truth. You don't go to look for a job that you know you don't have the capacity to deal, right?
Sure.
And the reason you also constitute a cabinet and the PSs and reorganize your CEOs in parastatals is because it's not humanly possible for you to do it alone. And so you have an expert called finance or CS treasury with the PS and a whole complement of advisors around there. Fix the empty coffers. Now, 3 years later, are you still fixing the coffers? Si nimeona kwa media, e-Citizen pesa inatoka kama maji. How many billions? Not accounted for. So which coffers were empty now at that point in time? But because you thought you wanted to continue whipping the emotions of Kenyans so that you did dale, muangalia tutakuwa mwanya, itakuwa wapi, where shall we be getting this out through? This is what happens. So the work of a leader is to lead, not to lament. They are both L. You can choose to lament as you're cheating people. You can choose to lead as you're making a difference. Let me tell you, Richard, also.
Sure.
I don't think that you want, it's not rocket science for people to see with their naked eyes when delivery is happening. Really. Really, I mean, in my village in Okalau, was a road that I never get tired of speaking about. And for the first time, we were able to see a tarmac road commencing at a little town called Tumaini. And that's my village. And within a very short time, 5 kilometers off tarmac, that was just before we left government, it was stopped, right? Because some contractor payment, blah, blah. The budgets were all there. Now, 2 months ago, I really complained, and I continue to complain. And what happened is that the deputy president currently actually came and commissioned the road. Understand the road was started in my day in cabinet.
Sure.
Right? So we didn't have a lot of problems with getting a project going without coming to do showbiz and PR. But because I went and really complained 2 months ago, so Professor Kindiki comes and I say, welcome. He commissioned. He brought some tractors. He brought some heavy equipment. 3 weeks ago, they have removed. They have moved on.
You've talked about us still struggling with the issue of cartels penetrating public coffers and making do with the loot. And you are remembered as the CS who took on cartels head on. Of course, they said you're going to be your personal business. You're going to clip your wings. Who is Cecil Kariuki anyway? You're a woman leader. But you still went ahead, summoned the courage that you needed. So then again, when you talk about NTSA deal, e-citizen scandal in the making, does this speak to the issue of budgeted corruption still playing large to this debt? And have you seen attempts from the government of today to at least address the subject of corruption? The other day, the president signed into law the Conflicts of Interest Bill of 2023. Was that at least a step towards the future we all desire?
I'll be very quick to say I do not think that it is another law that we needed. The Constitution today as is, the frameworks as they are, the institutions as they are,
Sure.
were figured out very, very well by people who meant well and indeed had an intention of stopping corruption. What has happened now, and because I talked about a lot of PR stints around this government, but it's not working, it's not selling. We signed that to put a veil around what government is doing and the citizens. But in the meantime, we have crippled all the institutions that would have anything to do with fighting corruption. Tell me, Dr. Oginde, not long ago, came and really spoke like, yeah, things are getting worse. Yeah, because of corruption at all the levels.
He even made a prayer.
Yeah? Yeah, as I was signing something, it won't help. Yeah, because documents don't actually plan how to steal. People do. Until we change, until they change and say deliberately, you know what? Kenyans have trusted us to give them a service. Kenyans are actually paying their taxes.
Sure.
How best can we appropriate the taxes to give a service that we can be able to see? But talk about anything that seems to be working. It is actually a cover-up to mega corruption. Do I say that about the housing, the affordable housing? The model was changed, right? Because the low-cost housing, you recall, were part of Big Four agenda under President Uhuru Kenyatta. And whereas some modest steps were made, one then wonders, what is this preoccupation with the affordable houses? They have mutated. Remember, they are being funded by people, and they are very unhappy. Kenyans are very unhappy because they never negotiated. A daughter of mine who is working in the public comes home, she's servicing a mortgage, and she has lost a certain percentage into this affordable housing. Now it has mutated. It is now, I don't know whether it's a marketing. Sasa ni masoko. I understand there are 400 of them across the county. Just a way of looting money, right? Because, you know, I keep on saying, if you see people with a very big appetite, and I've said this before, ya mijengo, hapo ndio pesa inafichwa. Because it's very difficult. Are you going to come and be able to know the foundation we've put here? Hiyo ni ya kuficha pesa.
Hiyo ni ya kuficha pesa.
Yes, yes. Then if you look at even the model of the affordable housing, while I have no problem with the concept, like I confirm it was the concept was actually developed when I was in cabinet, but it was a complete different delivery model. Now, when you come and see that even in little towns where people really do not need these units, inajengwa pale, what will happen? A town in Nyandarua called Engineer, there are those things going up. Mingi, the population, everybody is is a rural town, if you will. So everybody has their own digs. They know how to deal. But umetoa pesa from the formerly employed guys, umepeleka pale, hata umemaliza the few landlords who are there. Umewamaliza. Because now, what is this now? How will the economy then continue to actually thrive in those villages?
Sure. Waziri, the parliament, of course, is a representation of the electorate of the people. And while speaking during the premiere of the Devolution Conference, this year's edition, the president actually took the blame squarely at the doorstep of today's parliament, the MPs having turned parliament into a den of thieves. You're talking about mega corruption still playing large, and parliament would have checked into such issues, at least not to happen. Do you also join the president in actually accusing parliament for bringing us to where we're in the first place?
You know, I hate to speak about parliament as the totality of everybody that is there. I say this because they are good people right there. And I say this because having been vetted by parliament twice, at no point did anybody ask for money from me, and they are members of parliament. I understood some of my colleagues to say they actually incentivize them. Ndio wapite haraka haraka. During my time still. So it really depends on who. But having said that, for the president to actually accuse members of parliament as a collective, for me, it's not only hypocritical, but it takes me back to what I said.
Tell us.
Leaders lead, they don't lament. He should be pulling out because he seems to have evidence. Get the ones who are corrupt right there. Take them through the systems, which have also been tampered with, and have them prosecuted. Not to stand there and tell us how parliament is corrupt. In any case, ni nani ameharibu parliament?
That's my question.
I listened the other day to President Ruto speak, must be last week.
Sure.
And he said it is to do with an amendment touching on border, you know, taxation or something. And he said, nikitoka hapa, nitaenda bunge, na hii kitu nitabadilisha. So who is the number one member of parliament?
The president himself is making inroads to parliament,
he
the legislation.
Said, I will go and change Iowado. I'll go and change that law. I will go to parliament. So for a moment, I looked at the screen again and I said, did he forget he's no longer the member of parliament for LD? And now that he is the president of the country, did he just go back 20 years in terms of memory for him to tell us how he's going to make this amendment? It really confirmed to me that what we are being told, that a lot of MPs have been captured and they are part of the executive. This is what I, was revealed to me by that very statement. So I'm not so sure that he needs to be accusing them. He should be taking action, I think.
During your service as CS in respective dockets that you held, you of course interacted at diplomatic levels with Kenya's partners out there. We live in at a time where you hear of our association with the Al-Shabaab terror group, RSF. And Gachagua comes with this dossier. Of course, there's some ounce of truth from that as reported by the media and the investigation agencies. And it only begs question, how is our national outlook out there, our foreign outlook, from your lenses?
I mean, so part of the consulting work that I do and coaching and training work takes me to several countries around the continent. My vision is to run a Pan-African impactful business. And every time I am out, not long ago I was in Senegal, the people will look at me and are a bit sorry for me. You know, will you hack this? Will you hack this? Is the country going in the right direction? We've always hoped and looked upon you. And, you know, they've made suggestions, you know, like in the West African countries where we have young presidents.
Sure.
Their hope had been, because you can't categorize our current president to be one of those very old ones. They had hoped that he would continue, you know, shining a light in terms of good governance and good leadership that can be driven by people who are not very old anyway. But every time I interact with them, they are sorry for us, because I think we are on a reverse gear on a couple of things. We routinely seem also to be getting on to the way of proper bilateral relations, and you know, it's out in the open. We make statements that anger DRC, for example, that is not necessary. We take positions, you know, that really are not necessary. My conclusion is the following.
Sure.
We are in a hurry to talk before we understand the implication. You remember I've talked about a leader.
True.
Listen more to understand. Don't be in a hurry to talk. So we are in a hurry to speak. The other one, I think, is that we don't know really, we want to make an impression. You know, we want good thinkers, good thinkers, intelligent, good. You know, so we make mistakes like this. And unfortunately, there are repercussions. I see now currently there's a senator out of the US who is actually out to do a bit of investigations around us as a country. And I think it's a welcome move. And particularly the US one can be a big one, depending on the repercussions. And because they're not just looking at our commercial or economic relations, they're also looking at the mess that we have made in the last 2 years. The assaults, the deaths that have been occasioned to the young people, the corruption that's going through the ceiling, and this now, the engagement you know, with the foreign nation and how we are communicating our position as a country. So maybe it will be a good time for us to reflect as a country whether we can repackage and rebrand and conduct ourselves in a manner which is, you know, useful to Kenyans, you know.
Fair enough, Waziri. You are a seasoned management and leadership coach, and you've talked about how a leader falls on account of his promises. Well, we are at a time whereby you are calling out Kenya Kwanza government as one that has failed on its pledges and promises. But the president believes one term is not going to be a reality. If anything, we don't have such a precedent in this country. One term is just a slogan from the opposition, and it won't even see the light of the day. If indeed you are to look at the scorecard of Kenya Kwanza so far, how close or how far away is the one-term reality?
The ground, and you know, I am in the royal opposition myself.
Sure.
And I say I'm there out of choice. I haven't been forced to be there. And the ground, at least the ground in Nyandarua, I am so familiar with that one, including tomorrow and throughout the weekend, you know. The ship has docked.
Already?
Right? And I'm talking about the ship has sailed. The ship has set sail. And I speak to the young people particularly.
The Gen Z of Nyandarua?
Yes. I engage with wazees. I engage with the ladies. They feel so cheated, lied to, taken for granted, for somebody they believed in. And when I was on the ground looking to market myself, that time for the seat of governor, every time I sat with teams that I sat with, they would say, wachana na hiyo ya Ruto, yako tutakupea. Lakini ya president, because that's not what you're looking for, wachana hiyo tumejipanga. That is how convinced they were that their lives were going to change.
Serikali ya hasla ya mama mboga.
Now, when you love, then hate, they move in same equal measure in the opposite directions. When you love, I repeat, to a degree of 100%, when it's time to hate, it will be hatred 100%.
A complete paradigm shift.
Inaendaga hivyo, za pendulum. Right? That's nature. That's nature. Now they loved, woke up early, believed, trusted. Na
How did they say to
mwisho ya
Kikuyu,
mwisho?
we shall wake up and vote in the morning?
Togo kera.
Toka hure Ruto.
Toga dhure Ruto. That was the song. They did. They kept their word. They woke up in their numbers. I mean, I was at the ground. Isi ya kusoma. Now the song has changed. Togo kera. Togo kera tena. Togo kera. Toka ikata Ruto. Quiet. You know, koinkata now is to chase him away.
Early in the morning.
Tene. Early morning.
But he has DP Kithure Kindiki who might save sheep for him.
In Nyandarua, I will not talk about Tharaka-Nithi, where he comes from. I can speak with authority about Nyandarua because si ya kuambiwa.
The ground has shifted.
This is what I interact with every week. And when I'm not physically there, I'm on social media and I'm on calls and I'm busy, if you will. If I'm not coaching, if I'm not training, if I'm not out of the car, I will interact with these things, including this morning. Right? I say, oh, I understand there is planned a visit by the president or something. I understand. Mwambie alete, alafu ende. So they are saying to me,
bring the empowerment money, we shall eat.
Lete. Your 60 bob. So you 60 bobs are in some places.
So the visit to State House the other day, we saw thousands of youth being hosted there for what was dubbed as empowerment program. It doesn't necessarily translate to votes on the ground, especially from the Gen Z constituency. Is that your outlook?
If you followed this one, I saw the Gen Z who are speaking the language I speak when I'm not talking to you in English. I saw them in the bus that they boarded, they started singing there one time.
After kukula mchele?
It was in the news. One time, they started singing. So I don't know who is enjoying who. But the Gen Zs of Nyandarua, those I can speak with authority about. The ship has sailed.
The ship has sailed.
Yes, it
All
has
right.
set sail.
You are now domiciled right at the center of DCP party. You joined the party the other day under the stewardship of former DP Rigathi Gachagua. And even while at it, there are those who've talked about Cecily Kariuki is one person on the ground who wants her leadership. And these are the people of Nyandarua County. But they have a question. Yes, in 2022, she toasted herself for the gubernatorial bid. Almost at the 11th hour, she shelved that ambition. But even before they look at your 2027 bid, they want to understand, was that decision arrived from a point of consensus, or is it just out of personal conviction that I don't want to do this anymore?
A good one. It brings memories that are 3 years and a half old. Memories that make part of my history and who I am. Memories that say to me, you can't afford to be naive when it comes to politics. Memories that, for me, as opposed to, say, viewing that season as a failed season, perhaps the memories speak to me in terms of my resilience as a person.
Sure.
So it was a step for me towards growing, or my growth in elective politics, as it were, and because I picked useful lessons. You say whether it was me deciding to get away. It wasn't, far from it. I was put through a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Number one. Number two, I was a bit too trusting, so that I didn't have plan B, right? That's what I'm saying. For me, it was a school.
Paid the price of loyalty?
You know, when you have a course and you can see the destination, you must be willing to pay a price. That I paid. I paid the price.
Did.
Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, even as I, stepped off, I did tell the then president that there's no way Jubilee was going to secure the governor seat in Nyandarua, because again, I interacted with ground so intensely. You remember it was a time when Jubilee as a party had lost favor with Kenyans, but I had managed to kind of go back to the ground, and the party was actually being listened to reasonably well. It is the only county we speak about having 3 members of county assembly on the Jubilee ticket. Never mind the wave which was moving like that. It is the only county we speak about 2 members of parliament on the Jubilee ticket. And so without spending too much time on history, my vision is as sharp as it was in 2021, 2022.
The clarity is still clear.
It is, I am that clear. I'm very, very clear. This time, better prepared.
Do you hold any sour grapes following what happened that time?
Not at all. Not at all, really. Not at all, because in a lot of ways, I can say I miscalculated and maybe played the game as if it was the executive level game. You know, as if it was the corporate level game. I forgot that this is politics. And women and politics have the time. Wanachezewa sana. Wanachezewa sana. So I had to, and you know, nobody can learn that for whoever else. You got to go through it. You got to learn. It's very personal. Yeah.
You've been actually a victim of mistaken identity, and glad that you've talked about women going through a lot to even thrive in the political space in the first place. For you in particular, now that you're going to toss yourself once again in that ring for an elective bid, what do you think is now the silver bullet that you're arming yourself with to at least overcome the odds that you clearly know are going to be stacked in front of your face?
Now, I can only speak to this very broadly. Otherwise, because they are listening and they are my competitors, then I can't have this discussion in the open. All I can say that I'm a much better politician in the making right now. All I can say is that I'm going to be much better prepared. You will recall I resigned on the day that IBC had said as a cutoff, meaning I hadn't quite prepared the ground. All I can also add to this conversation is that it takes 2 to tango. The ground or the people who would vote me must be still seeing utility in my leadership and the value that I would bring to them. And that is why, you know, we engage in different ways up to when it will be open for the campaign season. And then we can all go and begin now to, you know, scream on the rooftops, if you will.
Fair enough, Waziri. You're actually on this reinvention journey, and there are seasons for everything. And clearly right now you are under DCP party. Some would want to question, does this mean that probably now you are no longer in good graces of the former President Uhuru Kenyatta?
I mean, really, President Uhuru Kenyatta made me a wonderful boss for the time that I served under him. And it was a long time. Close to 10 years was a long time. He gave me the space to grow in my leadership. He gave me trust in terms of the dockets that he trusted me to manage.
But did he give you the free hand to apply yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if there was one boss that I respect a lot, is that if he gave you the tools of trade, it came with trust and confidence. And this is a discussion I had the first time I joined his government. Said, you have my trust. You have my confidence. You go and serve people. Don't steal.
That's what he told you?
Those words echo because they became my opening statement for my senior leaders every time I met them. I said, this is a discussion I had with the president when he trusted me to run this docket. And he went ahead to say, I'm putting you in dockets where the budgets are huge. Every morning, remember, it is not your money.
Be it money for the dams, KEMSA, you name it.
I did not disappoint.
NYS.
Because I reminded myself every day, it is true, this is not my money. But even if he hadn't told me, I come from a background where integrity for me is important. I come from a family, very humble, where you only have 3 meals in a day if your metabolism is very good. Otherwise, at my age, you have 1. So you have no business amassing wealth for the sake of amassing.
Primitive accumulation of wealth.
Very primitive indeed. So from a value system, I already knew that. So what he did was actually to emphasize, so all right, and because I had also come from the private sector, I had served 8 years in the private sector as a CEO, and I was in charge of people's money. I knew not what to joke with. You want to live long? Don't play with people's money. You want God to actually reward you as you move along your journey? Careful the conversations you have with God when people are not seeing. I'm not so sure how thieves manage to sleep or what conversations they have with God when you know you've plundered money that should have gone to medicine and a woman is dying in hospital. I don't know what conversation we have
Or
with
probably
God.
grabbing land belonging to a school.
So I don't know how you sleep after that. You know, I don't know how you sleep. But they keep saying karma is real and therefore somehow, through you or generations to follow,
It comes back full circle.
you will pay.
You will pay.
And I believe so.
Now I'm curious to understand something here. Waziri, many felt that the government really needs your skills, your expertise, your experience this far, and they really want you to serve in almost every administration. What has held you back from joining President Ruto's administration?
You know, there is always a point in life that you take a different tangent. On the 9th of February 2022, I took that tangent.
9th Feb 2022.
Absolutely. And that is the day I resigned from cabinet. Given that one, when you serve in cabinet, you're serving under a boss who is a president. I didn't see a space for me to grow within the executive anymore. I think I had reached the peak, number one. Number two, when you lead and at my age, you don't lead or work for the sake of. You also work and lead because you have a purpose that is bigger than you. And number three, I believe in working and leaving an impact in a place. And the only place where I'm able to do all this, enjoy what I'm doing, leave an impact that can be seen. I started a policy, I implemented programs, I demonstrated good governance, and there was an impact that will outlive me.
That is the fire in your belly.
That is what it is. Meaning, therefore, I don't have space or room to join any other government. I can only join a government that I am in charge, so I can set a governance template that says, although the Auditor General is talking about devolved corruption.
Yeah, sure.
And it's Nimingi.
And that's where you're headed, probably as the governor of Nyandarua.
God willing, the favor of the people of Nyandarua, if I serve for the duration that I'll be granted when that time happens, I'll leave a governance template that will be followed. Second to the one of Kivutha Kibwana, my friend. He served as a governor, did he not?
He did.
Kumi bila break. And when they threatened him, he said, niachieni niende. I can leave. I mean, this is not my life, right?
This is about the people.
And
not
they
about
coiled. And they supported him to the second term. So governance templates and leadership templates can be developed because they've been developed in other countries, haven't they? And therefore, part of also my calling is to be able to demonstrate that can be done, service can be delivered. You don't have to steal the money that you're getting from people, and you don't need to steal left, right, and the center.
All right, now, a child in Nyandarua County, a girl, is seated there, and in the face of all this adversity, seeing her parents struggle with the cost of living, even herself, her education prospects are still in question, all thanks to what we're seeing in the education scene. And she wants to understand, I mean, will Cecily Kariuki give me the immunity I really desire, the shield, at least that I'll find reasons to push through and also some sort of cushion against all these shocks happening in this country? What's your word to that child growing fearful by the day?
Young one, in Kenya and in Nyandarua in particular, we live on hope, so we must not give up. Power is transient, and while we may be caught up with a lot of power in people's heads, it is not a permanent situation for you. And I think for me is to encourage you to do the best that you can with the circumstances you find yourself in. You know, there's confusion all over. Issues of capitation in school, yes, we know, we appreciate that. I speak to a lot of teachers. They are very demotivated. The head teachers are at loggerheads with parents because, you know, one minister says the money has been released, you know, and the head teacher is begging parents to support. And the teacher is caught in between, and that also affects you in school. I know that in some cases, like in my own county, the infrastructure isn't that great, starting especially at the ECD level. But if you're beyond there, I'll tell you, never give up. Don't lose hope. This will pass. Like a crowd, this will pass. A story is told to me of a crowd that lasted 24 years. It still passed. So even this will, this will. So do your thing, read. These days I've seen a lot of people, even in the developed world, who are actually doing homeschooling. You tutor yourself, you get your siblings who are a little bit ahead of you, giving you a little more material, keep yourself busy, keep good company, and maintain your discipline and keep praying. There's a God in heaven who listens.
There's a God in heaven who listens. That is our wrapping point for today's conversation, discussing a plethora of issues in Kenya's political, economic, and governance landscape with none other than this woman of many fasts. She's a celebrated icon in Kenya, having served this country in many capacities as a PS, as a CS for Public Service, Youth, Agenda Affairs, CS for Health, culminated it as CS for Water, Irrigation, and Sanitation. And she's gone ahead to still do incredible things beyond the cabinet. She's launched her book, actually, the memoir, Breaking the Illusions. Read it. At least it will inspire you and also give you nuggets of wisdom to forge through the future. And thank you so much, Waziri, for granting us time and also slating your insights for this particular program.
It's been my pleasure. You get the memoirs in any one of the leading bookshops, including the Textbook Center or on Amazon. Get it. Every sale gives me additional resources to support that needy girl, especially with the hygiene packages. That's how we spend the proceeds.
One word, your party leader is coming back home from his US tour, Rigathi Gachagua. Are you excited about his return?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been a little quiet. I'm looking forward to him being around and to bringing the energy that he carries. He carries a lot of energy. It's infectious sometimes. And I've seen him being dared to come and do other things. Can I speak to you, Rigiji?
Please do.
Don't record, not statement. Right? The people at ground level, and I'm speaking to the people in Nyandarua, are all ready for you. Yeah, this is part of intimidating you. They've said worse things. They should be recording to say how they are going to steal and stuff votes. Well, if you go together, then you can record. If they don't record, don't. No statements. Yeah. And to the government, I think you'll do yourself a big favor by not tampering with the Rigathi Gachagua for the time being. Yeah.
All right, there you have it from our heroine for this particular edition, former Minister Cecily Kariuki, right from her homestead here in Nairobi, a beautiful home you have. Thank God for the warm welcome. All right, and now to you, continue watching our other editions of the channel with Jadiel Kabir Evans Okinyi. And yours truly, for now, it's bye-bye from I and our mother here in Kikuyu. We say Maito.
Maito Cecily, bye-bye.
All right.